It's not long in a casual conversation about ethics before someone quips, "It's all relative, right?" Yet, frequently, the very same person would never imagine saying that science is all relative. We seem to experience a sharp contrast between science and ethics. Science appears to be objective. It uses narrowly defined concepts and methods and delivers facts about the world. Ethics, on the other hand, uses concepts and methods that are varied. It appears to be subjective. Moral judgments seem to depend on a whole range of factors, including our ethnic, cultural, religious, and gender identities. Is this the only way to think about science and ethics? Let's approach it this way. The Dummett-Putnam-Boyd characterization of realism allows us to talk about whether we are realists regarding any discourse by asking the following questions. Do the statements in this area of discourse satisfy the principle of bivalence? Do the statements in this area of discourse contain terms that genuinely refer? Are there at least some significant statements in this area of discourse that are true, or at least approximately true? We replace this area of discourse with science to separate scientific realists from anti-realists. We replace this area of discourse with ethics to separate ethical realists or moral realists from ethical anti-realists in metaethics. Typically, anti-realists, about either science or ethics, answer at least one of our three questions with a solid no, though they tend to focus more on question 2 and question 3. The concepts and methods in scientific discourse can seem so different from concepts and methods in moral discourse. So it seems we have 4 distinct philosophical possibilities concerning how we might combine our beliefs about science and our beliefs about ethics. One might be a scientific realist and an ethical realist, or one might be a scientific anti-realist and an ethical realist. Or again, one could be a scientific realist and an ethical anti-realist, or a scientific anti-realist and an ethical anti-realist. We're going to explore 3 of these 4 possible combinations. First, we'll explore the views of Richard Boyd. Boyd argues that the concepts, methods, and reasoning in scientific discourse and practice are very similar to those in ethics. He argues that we can coherently and consistently be realists about both science and ethics by adopting a single, unified approach in epistemology and philosophy of language. Second, we'll explore the view of Bernard Williams, a world-renowned Descartes scholar and ethicist. For Williams, there's a clear distinction between ethics and science. He argues that in ethics, we should be enlightened relativists, while in science, we should be realists. Finally, we'll study Hilary Putnam's criticisms of Williams's approach to science. In the second half of his philosophical career, Putnam came to adopt a sort of mitigated, localized realism about both science and ethics. A key insight in Putnam's view is that while we do not have good reasons for being realists about either science or ethics in the traditional sense, it does not follow from this that we have to give up our ability to make comparative judgments and to argue that one way of approaching things is better than another.